All right. So, welcome to this edition of Coffee and Miracles. I am blessed, if you can read that backwards, to be sharing some miracles with you today or with the several weeks. I'm going to be sharing a new miracle each week. But this week, I want to come to you with a little bit of a different take. I want to explain to you why I'm doing this. Okay, so first of all, my apologies for the last couple weeks in between. My first week went off with one little hitch, and then I had some technical difficulties in the second weeks. So second and third didn't get those done. And then the last week I was able to do that. So the two that I missed, I will come back and do at another time. But right now I want to talk to you about the reason behind why I'm doing this. So this show brings you miracles big and small. Some things you may not think of as a miracle, but if you start to look for them, there's a purpose in doing that. So first off, one thing I want to share is that you probably have noticed that it's tough out there. The world is kind of difficult to navigate sometimes. You may have some health problems, you may have some family problems, you may have some business problems, financial problems, whatever it is. You may have a combination of all of those things, and it makes life difficult down here on earth. So the reason that I want to bring this to you is because you can gain so much more by looking for the miracles than you can by concentrating on the stuff that's going on in your life that you don't like. And I'm going to come back at another time and talk about, people say there's light at the end of the tunnel, and some of our issues, the tunnel doesn't end the side of heaven, which makes that much more difficult. So I say, look for the light inside the tunnel. And that's what got me through a lot of chronic issues that I had dealing with more earlier, before 2020. But I still have some that I'm dealing with now. But it makes it so much easier for you to deal with the here and now, here on earth, the difficult stuff that comes up if you look for the miracles. And so big and small. So first of all, if you look for all the good things, you're going to feel more joy. You're just going to, because you're focusing on what is good. And the Bible talks about focusing on what is good. And so it makes you see the good things. It's kind of like there's a gratitude journal that I used to keep. I was putting down 3 things I was grateful for every day. And the reason they tell you to do that is, again, you're putting your focus, your emphasis on what's going well. Because sometimes you can have a ton of things going well in your life, but if you focus on the one thing or the couple of things that are not going well, that's all you see. And that colors your view. And it makes you unhappy because you're looking always at the bad things that are happening. And here on earth, like I said, there's a whole ton of stuff that's going to happen and go wrong. So if you're looking for the miracles, you will just simply feel more joy. So the next thing, you want to look for that, because the more you look for miracles, the more you're going to find them, the more you're going to see them. So there was this story about, I don't know if you've ever played the driving game where your kids are in the car and they're bored or something. And this is before you could have, streaming stuff in the car. I mean, I'm old school. So what we used to do is look for the red cars. Everybody call out a red car. Once you start looking for the red cars, you're going to see more red cars. And so once you start looking for the miracles, you are going to see more miracles in your life. And it's amazing how you're able to do. I mean, sometimes it starts small. Sometimes you're full of all the negative stuff that's going on right now, especially if something just happened. So it's harder to see. But as you go along, as you do this, as with any muscle that you're trying to build, you're looking for joy muscles, will strengthen, and you will be able to see more and more joy in your life, more and more miracles, especially if you're looking not necessarily for the big miracles. that happen. You're looking for the little things that are blessings in your life. So that is one thing. So you're going to see more. When you start seeing more miracles and you become more joy filled and positive, you're going to draw more people to you. So one of the challenges that we have while we're in a funk, while we're in a difficult time in our life, is we feel isolated. We can have friends out there, but because we're focusing on the negative and we're not looking for the joy and the miracles and everything, we tend to kind of isolate ourselves. And people talk about, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and so because those are the things you feel, so those are the things that you want to talk about. And not to say that's a bad thing. You should definitely talk about those things with your close friends, with the Lord, because that helps you work through things. But if you're always looking for the negative, you tend to be negative and you tend to feel more isolated. But as you look for the positive, look for the joy, look for the miracles, big and small, in your life, you're going to feel more joy, and that's going to draw people to you. And the cool thing about drawing people to you is that God put us all here for a reason. He gave us a purpose. And one of the things we want to do when we draw people to ourselves is to help them deal with stuff, because everybody's got stuff. Everybody's got something that they're going through. And so the more joy you feel, the more you draw people to you. And then the more you will be able to help people put a positive spin on stuff that's going on in their life. You're going to help them, their burden. I forgot where exactly it is in the Bible. Somebody comment below where it is, but it talks about making your burdens light. That happens when you can minister to other people, when you can, go behind people and say, you do that so well. If you don't feel joy, you can't compliment somebody else. You can't recognize talent in somebody else because you're so in your own stuff. But when you start to see the joy, you see joy in what others do, and you can compliment them and you can help them get through things and you can make them feel more positive, and that makes their burdens light. So I just wanted to come at you with all of this stuff, because this is the whole reason behind why I'm doing Coffee and Miracles, because when you look for the miracles, you are blessed. And the more you look for them, the more blessed you are. And the more you bless other people, the more blessed you are. A lot of times we think about what we give away, what we want to receive. I'll tell you, I have never felt more in response than when I have been able to minister to somebody else, to help them through grief, to help them get their answers, to help them see some of the great things about them. Some people are so down on themselves. They don't see the amazing qualities that they have. And when you point those out, you build somebody up, and that blesses you as well as them. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is that I would love for you to share this even with your friends and family that are not faith-filled Christians, because the principles work the same. If you jump off a tall building and you do not have benefit of parachute or other paraphernalia like that is similar, you are going to die. If you believe in gravity or not, if you jump off that building without a parachute, you are going to die. The principles work. The principles for this, whether or not somebody is a believer, is going to work. If you see the positive, if you look for the positive, you're going to see it, you're going to receive it, and you're going to give it. And then those people. Anyway, just wanted to come share that with you. And the other thing I wanted to let you know, I was doing this at 12 o'clock Eastern time, but I have something that came up that I need to do at 12 and at 11 on Thursday. So it's going to be at 10 o'clock thereabouts on Thursdays where I'll be sharing this. So have a blessed day.